Blog Talk Radio.
Archangels, ghosts, and Bigfoot. Oh my! It's just another night for Supernatural Girls. Real stories, real answers to life's biggest supernatural mysteries. And now for another exciting interview with paranormal experts from this world and others. Psychic medium Helene Olson and paranormal researcher Patricia Baker. Here are Supernatural Girls.
Welcome, everyone, to another exciting episode of Supernatural Girls. I am your host, Patricia Baker, and we have the most exciting show for you tonight. I just can't wait to share all of our guests with you. We have more than one. And a big surprise for everybody. We have live on the show, co-hosting with me, Becky Andreasson. Becky, welcome back to the show.
Thank you, and hi, everybody. I missed everybody and love you all.
My gosh, what a journey you've been on.
Oh, my gosh, yes, I have been on a journey. And I just wanted to touch base a little bit with everyone because they're probably wondering what happened, as I was totally shocked. I had found out that I was feeling great, strong, never knew anything was wrong with me, and found out I couldn't eat food or swallow water, went in and found out that I had liver cancer. And I was absolutely shocked, and the doctors gave me 2 weeks to a month to live if I did nothing. And so I had myself a good cry, and then I said, time to clean house. And I told my family and friends, and from there, thousands of prayers and light and healing energy had went out to everyone sending it to me, and I love everybody for sending it to me, and I want you all to know it is working. I was 71% cancer, and in 3 months, which even the doctor's eyes opened wide, was a miracle. It went from 71% down to 14%, and that is from the prayers and sending the healing energy to me. And I want you all to know I feel it in my spirit absorbing into my physical body. I even felt fingertips tapping in my liver. It's absolutely amazing and wonderful.
Well, Becky, we have all missed you so much, but what we haven't missed is the echo.
Oh, it's
and
there.
We have it again.
Oh, my gracious.
What would it still be if we didn't have the echo?
I come with an echo.
So I'll tell you what I'm going to let you do is I'm going to let you hang up and call back in so that we can get rid of this echo.
Yes.
So go ahead and hang up. And as everybody knows, we've struggled with an echo, and what we discovered was that because Becky lives in a rural area, there are some lines that are needing to be replaced. And you know the phone company, they're kind of slow with that sometimes. So what we are hoping is that when Becky calls back in, as she's done in the past, that echo will disappear and we'll have a free line again to have clear communications with all of you, because we have a very, very special guest as our main guest tonight, and that is Robert Salas, who is amazing. He has another great book. Faded Giant was one of the books he wrote previously, and now he has a brand new book, and it's called Unidentified, the UFO Phenomenon, How World Governments Have Conspired to Conceal Humanity's Biggest Secret. Now, we've talked about this on the show before with many different guests, but Robert has an inside track because he was part of the Air Force for a long time, and so he has a lot of information that we really want to hear. So let's see if we can get Becky back in here without the echo.
Yes, I'm here. Is there still an echo?
I'm hoping not. I don't hear it. Yay. It's
good.
solved.
Yay.
Hooray,
I don't
hooray.
know.
You know, Becky, your journey is a real inspiration to everybody. I want you to know, and everybody's been asking how you're doing, and it's so thrilling to have you back on the show. My goodness.
Yes.
You are a spiritual warrior, that's for sure.
Oh,
You've been able to beat this thing.
Yes, and it's been from the heavenly realm, and it's been from these precious souls that are praying for me and sending me their healing energy, and it is working. I mean, I'm down to 13% now. It's amazing, and I'm going down to 0, wiping this, cleaning it right out of my body, and it's from them. I want them to know. I am doing physical therapy, too, and taking that, but I know it's the prayers because I can feel it. I can feel it. And they are blessed warriors healing. They have the power. You all have the power. I want you to know. It's a gift given from above. And keep praying, because I will one day announce to you all 0.
Yes, that you are cancer-free and you are a cancer survivor. So
yes, I am.
God
and there's
bless
reasons
you.
for everything. Look at all the lives touched. It's amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know so many people have reached out to you to support you in your journey. And in return, everybody has also felt supported by you because you have really beaten the odds in this.
Yes,
really.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's truly wonderful and amazing.
It is great. Well, it's so great to have you back.
Thank you.
Yay, yay, yay. And we're going to invite Patricia Kirkman to join us because with Patricia, we gave her a whole bunch of numbers to look at. Hi, Patricia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Patricia.
Hello, and it's good to finally meet you voice to voice.
Yes.
You've been on my prayer line for quite a while, young lady.
Oh, thank you, honey.
Well, so we gave you a whole bunch of numbers to look at, Patricia, and they were about mass sightings. We gave you Betty Andreasson, who we're going to bring on shortly, and we also gave you Travis Walton. So how about if we start with Becky's mother, Betty? Are you ready for that?
Yes. We're talking with Betty Andreasson's information that I have here.
And let me get Betty on the line. Betty, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, all your listeners as well. And also, I'm looking forward to hearing from Patricia.
All right.
Well, I hope it's worthwhile, my dear, because everything is, there's so many things taking place here.
Yeah.
I took a look at the date 1/7 of 1937.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
that
my birthday.
Is a 19-1. It's to have and to let go. It is to be on your own regardless of anything else. You must be your own.
Oh, my.
You can never rely on anybody else, and every time you do, I will tell you, you're going to find it afraid to have a cushion because you're going to be sitting on your tush. Okay? No ifs, ands, or buts about that one. And that I didn't mean that literally, but the birthday itself tells me that you're a very strong individual, that 1/7. The 7 is the high spiritual number, and it deals with a lot of intuitiveness and good feelings about things. But for you to succeed in this lifetime, you've always had to do it on your own. Mm-hmm. You've been called on to do certain things, and the date of the month is a 1, which is masculine. So there were issues with men around you in this lifetime.
Oh, yes.
As well as the father figure, as well as the destiny number being a 1. So you were inundated with having to come heck or high water. You had to do it on your own if you were going to survive.
That's
no
true.
Question.
Mm-hmm. That's the truth. Wow, this is fantastic to learn this. You know, I knew it because I was going through it, but to hear it from you, that's wonderful to know.
Well, and I find it very interesting that the abduction date of January 25th, 1967 also has an impact there. Again, there is the 1. Your birth month is a 1. That date was also a 1. Mm-hmm. Your birthday is a 7. Yes. The abduction is a 25, which reduces to a 7. We always take numbers down to the lowest number.
Right.
And that being said, it was like a mirror going on of what you've come to do and what you're here to experience, because you are a teacher. Whether you want to be or not, you will always be a teacher. But you'll do it with integrity and being in control. You don't settle for it just because or possible maybes. You need to have that other element for you to feel secure. Make sense?
Yes, very much so. This is going to really strengthen me. Thank you so very much.
Well, I hope that helps you a lot, my darling. You haven't finished what you're doing yet, though. There's something more coming.
Yes, there is something very big coming, and I've questioned it for a long time. What is it? What is it? Please let me know. You know, I pray to God that He will show me what I'm supposed to do. And,
okay, right now, you are between October 1st and December 31st. You are in a 4-bridge period, which is all about details of things, pulling everything together. You're finding yourself holding your breath. You're getting very uptight, and we are in a retrograde, so you can't see clearly.
I see. Okay.
From January of this coming year and until the end of September of next year, you are going to be in a 7, which is all about the teaching, the experiences. There's going to be additional information being passed on to you.
Oh, wonderful.
You already are having difficulty sleeping. You're dreaming more. Yes. You will do much, much more of this as the year progresses. And you're going to be getting your answers through this next 11 and a half months.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's wonderful. I know they have started to come because I have had another experience. And the thing is, I can't really speak about the experience as yet, but there was a time of waiting and rest for me that was made, and that was almost 2 decades that would pass before I would come to that position. So I'm on my way to that point, and I am learning a little bit more every day, and it is through the Spirit. God is showing me the way. He's
most definitely.
He's also within my drawing, and I am seeing more and more what He is trying to tell me. And it's one thing that concerning the one that seems spectacular to me. Now, maybe not to everybody else, but I'm hoping it will, that people in the world and in life will see what is being said. And I'm writing this book, and my husband Bob is writing along with me, and letting people know about the experiences, summaries of the experiences, and then finally this last experience I've had. And I was doing things that I didn't even realize I was supposed to be doing. And it's through picture form, and hopefully a way will be found that I will be able to get that information out to the world.
Yeah, it sounds like that's what's going to happen, Betty, in the next 11 and a half months, which is fabulous. And I just want to announce to everybody that your book, The Andreasson Affair, has been reprinted. It's going to be available for purchase on October 20th. You can get your own copy of this fabulous book written about Betty's experience by Ray Fowler, and you can buy it now online, even pre-order it through Amazon. But, Betty, I'm going to ask you to hang up because we have the same echo problem with you that we have with your daughter. So.
Okay, I'll do that.
But thank you for joining us. You are our favorite abductee, and it's wonderful that you called in, and I hope that you'll take some wisdom from what Patricia shared with you tonight.
Oh, it's wonderful. I thank you so much for that information, Patricia. You have helped me immensely. God bless you, hon.
Oh, thank you, darling. The same to you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. And
bye, Betty. Thank you. Again, everybody run out and buy your copy of The Andreasson Affair. It is a great book. It is one of the most highly documented abduction cases. So please, everybody, go to Amazon.com and get your copy.
Okay, thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Betty. Bye. Okay. We have no echo.
I'm telling you. There's something
here,
in
the family, Becky. Yeah.
They're not alone. That's
right.
the whole point.
Oh, gosh. Well, Patricia, I know we gave you some other numbers to look at. For example, the Westall mass sighting, and there was another mass sighting in South America. What did you find when you looked at all of these numbers? Were there any similarities?
Well, what I found quite interesting has to do with the fact that they're dealt with the karmic numbers. 4s and 8s are always karma, all right, in some form, learning, teaching, leading, but the details of things. And so it was a 4 universal year, but it was an 8 universal month. So there's definitely a karmic impact here. But the day, it was a 5 universal day, so it's all about major changes taking place, unexpected changes. When that information disappeared, it was accidentally, quote, I'm using tongue-in-cheek when I say that, removed. That was no accident. It was supposed to be accident.
You're talking about when they removed the information about the Westall sighting? Okay.
And it was taken from the archives, even though it was always kept, as you said on this note that you sent me, the station always kept all the stories forever.
Right.
Somebody accidentally made a major error there and lost the information. And I'm using that tongue-in-cheek, saying accidentally. Someone was put up to removing that.
So someone was probably paid to remove it.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely they were put up to eliminating that, quote, accidentally. But it was a day when accidents do occur, good to bad, bad to good. But definitely, I think somebody was trying to abscond with the information to use it for something else and screwed it up and lost it.
Oh, my goodness, how awful. That was an amazing sighting. We've actually had the filmmaker on the show talking about everything they uncovered when they were researching the documentary for Westall 66. If you guys haven't seen that yet, you really should watch it. It's on YouTube. Right. It's an amazing mass sighting. So, so this thing about the number 5 being in play does have a lot to do with the secrecy part of this, the conspiracy part of this.
Well, 5 deals with major changes. And changes are good to bad, bad to good. But when we're taking a look at the karma that was involved with the date itself, I think 8 is about our finances and that. And I can't help but feel that somebody was greedy and thought they were going to run away with the spoon, shall we say, and instead messed it up and lost the information.
Oh, my goodness.
They deliberately lost it, not because if they hadn't tried to take it, it would never have been left.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's pretty exciting that you could just glean that just from the numbers. And this was one of the largest mass sightings in history that was reported. So it continues to be a bit of a mystery. And I know we're going to be having the filmmaker back. They were going to do part 2. They said there was more information that was going to be coming out. And certainly that's what we want. We want all this information to come out. And that's why we invited Robert Salas to come back on the show. So, Patricia, thank you so much for your help tonight with all of these abductions and all of the numbers around them. We're going to put you back into your little mute room, and we're going to call on Robert Salas in 1 second. Now, Robert is a 1964 graduate of the U.S. Air Force Academy. He served 7 years on active duty. He worked as a weapons controller, flew target drones, commanded intercontinental ballistic missiles as a launch officer, and he worked as an Air Force missile propulsion engineer on the Titan III program. I'd say he's highly qualified to talk about this subject. From 1971 to 73, he worked as a safety and reliability engineer for Martin-Marietta Aerospace and Rockwell International on Space Shuttle design proposals. So he also worked for the Federal Aviation Administration, and in 2005, Robert published his book, it's a landmark book, Faded Giant, with co-author James Klotz, which details the UFO incident he himself witnessed in 1967. So Robert has been publicly speaking about this incident at UFO conferences, on television, on radio since 1996. And now, of course, we're welcoming him back to Supernatural Girls because He has a great new book out called Unidentified, The UFO Phenomenon, How World Governments Have Conspired to Conceal Humanity's Biggest Secret. Robert, welcome to the show.
Yes, welcome.
Hi, Patricia and Becky. Becky, are you on? Becky,
yes, I am, Robert. Hi.
It's great to be on here. I'm honored to be on the same show with you and Patricia.
Oh, thank you. It's so exciting to hear all this. Your book was wonderful. It has so much awesome information in it.
Thank you. Right off the bat, can you tell me how Ray Fowler is doing?
As far as I know, he is still doing well, and he was in contact with my mom, They were writing back and forth because I've heard my mom is finishing another book here, and, she sent it along to Ray so he could also read it. So far, everything's okay that I know of.
Great.
Yes.
And I also send my healing energy to Becky.
Thank you.
Absolutely, and I know that works. I know that
yes,
works.
Does.
My wife is hands-on healer, as a matter of fact, and she's worked on me many times, and I know that healing energy comes through.
Oh yes, and I felt it. I have literally felt it move through my spirit body into my physical body, and it is wonderful, wonderful. All those blessed souls out there, I'm telling you.
Okay.
We need them in the world today, don't we?
You bet we do.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to be on, Patricia. I'm ready to answer any questions you might have about my book.
Well, you started in an interesting place in this book, really making quite a declaration, the fact that we deserve to know the truth. And that's a great place to be, because we certainly agree with you, Robert. We feel we do deserve to know the truth. And it feels like you're very passionate about this. So please start there. Tell us why.
Well, yeah, that is one of my passions. Of course, I had to keep this secret for 30-some years before I finally went public with it. And by the way, I owe a debt of gratitude to Raymond Fowler for the ability to go public, because Raymond Fowler knew about this incident, and he had the courage to give an interview to the Christian Science Monitor, I think it was 1973, which published this story about missiles being shut down during a UFO encounter. And as a result of that, Timothy Good published that short account, just one little paragraph in his book, Above Top Secret. And that's the book I picked up in 1994. Just happened to be browsing in a bookstore, picked that book up and turned to page 301 and saw that little paragraph, which gave me the thought that maybe the Air Force had declassified my incident. And that's when I contacted Jim Klotz, asked him to send a Freedom of Information Act request for information on this incident, said, and not to say anything about UFOs, just about the shutdown of the missiles for strange reasons. And the Air Force came back and said, well, it was still classified, but since it's been so long, they were going to declassify it. And that's how they started sending documents to us. And as a result of that, I went public. So all that because Ray Fowler had the courage, put his job and reputation on the line to give that interview to the Christian Science Monitor. Anyway, my passion is the fact that this is being held a secret by agents within not only our government, but many governments of the world. And essentially what we've got here is a secret organization that's trading in some very, very significant, valuable information. They're exchanging information. They're probably making decisions with extraterrestrial entities that involve all of us, and they have no right to do that without our agreement and involvement. So yes, the public has a right to know, and that this is one of my passions.
Now, when you talk about this, Robert, you just intrigued the heck out of me, and I'm sure, Becky, you feel the same way. This possibly and probably, I should say, most likely, speaking with extraterrestrial entities and making decisions, what kinds of conversations do you think they're having? It sounds like you know a lot about this, so we're going to ask you. I'm going to put you on the hot seat.
Well, I can't give you a definitive statement about that. Much of this is speculation. However, there have been stories where there has been seeming contact between military personnel and extraterrestrials. One example is the Rendlesham Forest case. I don't know if you're familiar with that.
Oh, yeah, that was the big one in the UK, and the military officers came forward, and they've been on multiple television shows talking about it.
Right. And one of the reports is that either the base commander or one of the high officials from Bentwaters actually approached one of three extraterrestrials that was seen in that field in the forest, and they communicated in some way, as if, and they were all there as if they expected them to arrive at a certain time. So that is one of many other instances where there's probably been some face-to-face contact. So,
now, are there
logic,
any conversations that you've overheard or you know about what that ET was communicating to the officer in Rendlesham?
No, I have no information other than that, which was told by one of the witnesses. Now, so again, this is subject to speculation. However, Betty and I know very well that there has been contact, and probably with millions of experiencers or abductees, and face-to-face contact, literally, and information has been exchanged. Whether it's conscious or subconscious in our minds, I think some information has been exchanged. They're also sending signs through crop circles. So there is communication going on. How much is going on with this so-called international cabal? Again, I can't say for sure, but no doubt some communications are happening.
And the fact that there are different types of aliens here that people have experienced and spoke about, do you think like the Greys are the most, upfront aliens that are working with human in the cabal, and or do you think, like I personally know elders and Greys that are working with trying to help mankind understand and open up, but then there's this cabal secrecy, where who are they working with? What is the main group that they're working with, and are they trying to save humanity, or are they moving things about like the playing chess,
Or is there an exchange of favors, let's say?
Yes.
You give me some of your technical information, and we'll turn over some of our people or our information to you. I don't know, Becky. Again, it's subject to speculation, but there's a very real possibility that some kind of interchange is going on.
Yes, and we found even evidence and proof in such things as the skull that they had found in, 1930, and the DNA
in Mexico, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, it shows, and that's more than 65 years. I mean, going way back even, there's even skulls found in strange, DNA that's been found way back then. So it's, like information I've received, I've been told they've been here since the beginning of humanity. So, I mean, it goes all the way back there. And even this inbreeding, where they have hybrids, Do you realize that you put a child and an adult in a room and there's a whole different vibration than if you put a child and a child in a room, a human child and a hybrid child in a room? There's instant communication without fear, more of an innocence there, and more has come out and more is learned and understood. And I think that has a lot to do with this hybrid, that they're taking process in, because they're growing and working with the people or the children that they've even taught in classes, which I've been in, and I haven't even not even a pinpoint spoke on what I've learned in classes yet. And what I've read and seen isn't even part of what I've learned.
And so that's another thing they're involved with that, Becky, you just brought up that's so important. So not only do we have now to worry about or to be concerned about the government making deals behind our back with extraterrestrials and making decisions that affect all of us, but there's also, as you just said, Becky, there's this hybrid program going on. And then we've also heard about underground bases where there's aliens at war with our military. And how about that? Is that also going on, or is, again, a lot of this is speculation? But you're on the inside track here, Robert. So I know you know a lot.
We hear pieces. We hear pieces. Yeah.
I hear pieces too. That's why I wrote this book. Over 20 years of hearing stories and trying to evaluate the veracity of stories, which is not easy, and I've learned to, I've evolved to the point where I don't discount any of the things I've heard. I just don't. I don't completely throw them out. What I do is try to evaluate in my own mind and gut and heart whether or not a person is telling me the truth. Yes, I have heard stories of underground bases, and I think from credible people. Now, what's going on in these underground bases, I could not tell you, but I do know that the military does have secret underground bases, and I've gotten this from a reliable source, let's say.
Yeah, and there's always a fear factor, it seems, with the underground bases. Doesn't it?
That we've heard at least circulating, whether it's true or not. I mean, it is the kind of stuff that makes your skin crawl. I mean, it doesn't sound like in the underground bases there's any kind of familiar or happy feelings towards humans. It's like we are the enemy.
Well, I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. I have heard, for example, there's an abductee. I guess I can't go into the details because she's asked me not to talk about it, but she has been to an underground base where there's a lot of activity, ETs and hybrids working together in underground bases. Yeah, there is evidence of that. And again, these are credible reports in my mind. But
and do you know or have any idea of how many species or alien types are here at this point?
I have no idea. I know that there are at least two from my own experience.
Yeah. And that's incredible and wonderful that you are now a believer. I salute you. I love when the non-believers open up and they realize, oh my gosh, this is real.
Yes. It's
I
true.
love it when that happens.
I also
Joy to my heart.
I love, Robert, this quote that you have in your book that I'm going to read. It's a great quote. You say, there is no rational justification for what has been perpetrated against witnesses to the UFO phenomena. Some of these extreme measures were purely and simply illegal behavior by our government. Talk to us about that, please.
Shame.
Well, we can go back to the Roswell crash, 1947. If you read Don Schmidt and Tom Carey's book called Witness to Roswell, they talk about some 300 witnesses have come forward, and many of those were threatened into silence, let's say, their relatives were threatened. I talk about a couple of other stories. One in 1976 at a missile base where drugs were used to debrief one of the main witnesses. And again, in the Rendlesham case, many of the witnesses report being drugged and also sleep deprived during their interrogations. So I think this cabal will stop at nothing to maintain the secrecy, and they don't mind how they treat witnesses. I think they track witnesses also to make sure that
I agree.
that they are, let's say, behaving themselves and not talking, and they just monitor the activities of main witnesses.
And now that isn't legal, right? That's not legal to do that to people who are just civilians.
But they're the cabal. That's why I mean, they don't, legal, not legal, ho-hum,
Yeah.
That's really how it is.
But, it's interesting because I was having a conversation with a news producer for one of the major networks. And the reason I say this and why I think it's important to bring to people's attention, when I talk about this with him, his opinion was, well, if they've been aboard a UFO, maybe they should be followed by our government. But I was kind of speechless when he said that. However, I have another friend who's in high-level security, and he said, that's illegal. Nothing in our Constitution or in our laws says if you've been abducted by UFO, then you get to be followed around and have covert surveillance on you by our government or shadow government. There's nothing that says that's okay because it's illegal, right?
That's correct. I mean, unless we're suspected of some kind of crime against this country or something like that, they have no business tracking us and doing other things to try to, like I said, a lot of these witnesses were drugged. A lot of them have been threatened with physical harm, things like that.
Yeah, that's really wrong. Now, I've even heard people have been killed. Made it to look like an accident, but they were...
possibility.
Yeah.
Yes, one of the principal investigators during the 70s was Dr. James McDonald. I don't know if you've heard of him. He was a professor at the University of Arizona, was very interested in the UFO phenomenon, actually testified before Congress in 1968 during those hearings. And he was found dead with a small arm, a pistol in his hand. And a lot of people think that this was not suicide as claimed by others. It was intentional.
So there are some of us that are allowed to speak and then some of us that are not. So there must be pieces of information that they do not want out there into the public.
Well, if they can enforce secrecy on some witnesses, they will do it. People like, I think, myself, I started speaking about my incident and had Air Force documents and witnesses to back me up. And I went public on radio and television early. And if you have in my case, I think I have a strong case, and then the cabal, I don't think, wants to interfere with me because, again, I've been speaking about this for 20 years now.
Yeah,
so,
long time, yes.
I think they don't want to bring attention, let's say, to
it.
this case.
I see. Yeah.
But if you had some footage of extraterrestrials meeting with the military, they probably would be a little more aggressive with you.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. I am sure of that. Well, we have a question for you, Robert, from the chat room. Somebody wants to know, they wrote in, how can we knock down this wall of secrecy the cabal has built up?
Well, I think this is a difficult question to answer, but I think we ought to focus on some of the better-known, better documented and researched cases. Not my own, but not only my own, but something like Roswell and the Rendlesham case. There are many witnesses involved there. Of course, these have been publicized, but we have to keep pressing media to talk about these. We have to press for disclosure, and we can do this by, meeting with or talking to our Congress people, our senators, writing letters, and hopefully somebody will pay attention. I know, for example, there's an effort that's going to be done right after this next election by Stephen Bassett. You may know about this. He's going to be sending video of our presentations at the Citizens Hearing on Disclosure, which happened in 2013, to each congressman and senator, and then request meetings with them. So we're going to keep pushing this and pursuing it.
Well, that's great. Now, are there petitions out there people can sign? Or sometimes having 100,000 signatures or more can attract attention.
Can move things, right?
Yeah.
Well, no, there's no petition per se. We had this. The President Obama put up on the White House website that if you get 5,000 people coming forward and asking a question of the presidency, he'll answer it. Well, we did this regarding UFOs. You may be familiar with this. And we got a response back from his Office of Science and Technology, which is interesting. Because the first head of the cabal, in my way of thinking, was a man by the name of Vannevar Bush, who was the chief scientist during World War II under FDR. But he basically held this Office of Science and Technology. But the response from the Obama administration was that there's nothing to this UFO phenomenon. There's no evidence to support it.
Are you kidding
me? But they did not reference any study that they made or any material other than the Condon investigation, of course, which said that they studied this and there was nothing to it.
And what about their fiscal year 2013, a budget to oversee $140 billion in research for development, and the great majority, which was for expenditures of a classified nature, quote unquote?
Right.
Yeah, what's up with that?
These are black projects, and again, I talked a little bit about this in my book. Most of these black projects are run without any real oversight. Mm-hmm. Because I've talked to people who were involved with some of these, not UFO related, but other things. They were supposed to report to some congressional committee, but the committee didn't really know what these projects were about or what they were for, et cetera. It was very easy to just pull the wool over their eyes and not really get into any details. So really a lot of this money, and like you say, billions and billions of dollars, is not accounted for. Mm-hmm. And being used in these black projects.
Have access to any of the information about where our tax dollars are going for these projects and what they're really up to.
Exactly. So
if we did a Freedom of Information request, we'd get nothing.
We'd get nowhere on these projects. These are highly protected, again, under the umbrella of national security.
Wow, they're set up really nice, aren't they?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
I have to tell this story because it's very apropos to what's going on. And when we had Michael Bastine on the show, as an Algonquin elder, and he studied with Mad Bear Andreasson. And Mad Bear was one of the true great medicine men who has passed on. But Mad Bear used to drive down to Washington to testify. And then he would get all the way down there, and then they'd call a recess and say, "I'm sorry, but we can't fit you in." This happened 2 or 3 times. He was getting a bit irritated, driving all the way down from upstate New York to Washington and not really being welcomed. So one day he drove up, and he said to the guard, "You know what? There's a misspelling on there where it says Justice Commission." He goes, "What do you mean?" And he goes and looks at the building and comes back all upset. He goes, "There's nothing misspelled." And Mad Bear said to him, "Oh, yes, there is. It should say JUST-US. Just us." And you know, that's the feeling that I get, and I always think of the story from Michael that about our supposed government is supposed to be doing all of these things on our behalf, but it has really become a clandestine operation, especially when it comes to UFOs.
Absolutely. And that's, again, by the end of my book, I'm to the point where, we've got to we got to get control of our government because it is out of control. There is an extreme amount of secrecy going on, and again, I get into that issue. That's another major issue in my book. All the secrecy, the number of classified documents and information, and then we've got this secret group working within the government on the UFO issue, and maybe others, and we don't seem to have any control. It hardly matters which party is in power.
Time to call out the brave whistleblowers.
Yes, and
right.
That's for sure. That's
for
sure. Well,
come on, guys, you're in there.
Yeah, blow those whistles. Well, and we have a caller on the line here. We have Bob Luca has called in, and he has a question for you, Robert. So let me welcome Bob. Bob, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. Hope you're all doing well this evening.
We're having a great time finding out how we're having the wool pulled over our eyes. So go ahead. What's your question for Robert?
That's pretty much normal for our government. Well, first, I have one question, but first I wanted to make them aware of 2 documents that I have because, thank you so much for doing this book. People need to wake up. That's number 1. And people like myself have been frustrated for years over this baloney. For instance, I have a letter in my hand dated April 28, 1983, and it claims that the activity at Bentwaters was not on land under United States Air Force jurisdiction. Therefore, no official investigation was conducted, and that's signed by Henry J. Cochran, Colonel, USAF. The second document I have, same time period, I queried the British Ministry of Defense, and they sent me back a lovely letter claiming it was a hoax. So I have these documents. So there's a absolute proof of what Robert is saying in his book. It is total baloney that they are, throwing out at us. Now, the other thing, being a technician that I was interested in, and this is my question, I've had occasion to work on computers that were used by government contractors, and I noticed internally they are heavily shielded with double metal walls, and even wire harnesses and individual wires are sheathed in braided metal, apparently to prevent problems from electromagnetic pulse. So my question is regarding the missiles. I'm sure they were probably shielded, but do we know what kind of electrical power or energy was used to disable them yet at this time? And I'm going to hang up and listen, so I don't want to turn it on now and get feedback.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Bob, for your call, and we'll get Robert to answer your question.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Yeah, it's great to hear Bob's voice. In our case, we had triply shielded cabling systems, triply shielded against EMI, or electromagnetic interference. Now, what this object would have had to do was to send a signal, actually signals, through 60 feet of earth and concrete, and then penetrate these triply shielded cables. By triply shielded, I mean they actually had kind of an inert gas. I think it was nitrogen gas as part of the shielding system for these cables, because obviously we wouldn't want any kind of stray electrical energy to fire off our missiles by mistake. So this was a very reliable system. But this is one of the reasons this incident that occurred in my case was so fantastic that even the Air Force admitted that it was highly improbable that this could have occurred. But this object would have had to have sent signals to penetrate 60 feet of earth and concrete, and then penetrate these cables, underground cables, and send a specific signal to each of the missiles separately. These missiles had their own individual cabling systems. They weren't like Christmas tree lights where if one went out, they would all go out. And upset what we had, a particular piece of equipment called the logic coupler, which was part of the guidance and control system package. There was a bench test done at Boeing on this piece of equipment. They did identify a specific frequency and level of power that would be needed to do this, but they could not explain how something external to the system could have sent these signals through. So I hope that answers Bob's question. But this was a fantastic something that the Air Force could never explain, and hasn't to this day.
My gosh. Well, that's a great question from Bob Luca. Thank you again, Bob, and great answer. I guess there's not a lot you can say about a technology that's so far advanced. We have no clue how they're controlling our missiles. It's pretty
right.
telling what you went through, what you experienced that night.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. Like I said, the Air Force is never able to explain it. The Boeing company sent a team out there. We have been in contact with the head of that team. He sent us a detailed letter of what they looked at, the kinds of failure modes they looked at, things, computers, power surges, things like that. By the way, we never lost electrical power. We had electrical power the entire time these missiles were disabled. Like I said, this was a directed signal. So that's about as far as the Air Force was able to explain it.
Wow. What do you think the Air Force thinks that the aliens are telling them by doing this?
Well, the Air Force has never commented on this publicly. Like I said, the only thing we got from them was some documents talking about a little about their investigation ongoing for many years, but they never speculated. Well, of course, they denied that there was any UFO involvement. In fact, one of the documents says specifically that rumors of UFOs around the missiles at the time of the shutdown were disproven. Well, how do you disprove a rumor?
Yeah, that's right.
So, because they never talked to me about it, when they were doing their investigation. We were ordered. In fact, we had to sign documents never to speak about this. Right after it happened, we were ordered to sign these documents.
Well, I think they were showing us that the ability, not to shoot something off if we thought something was supposed to be shut off and it wasn't supposed to be shut off, that they would stop it. And I think they've done that around the world with little bits and pieces of showing humanity, this is not right. And I think that's the good ones that are out there. I know there's good and bad. There's good and bad in everything, and there even is in these species and the different ones that are out there. But I think, truthfully, that's what they were showing us. You're not going to shoot these when they're not supposed to be shot off.
Well, I do think they were sending us messages by these incidents, and in my book I list over a dozen, I think 14 other incidents where UFOs came over either missile facilities or weapon storage areas where nuclear weapons were held, and simply shone a beam of light on those facilities. And in my case, they disabled the missiles, but they didn't damage them.
Right.
All these missiles were brought back up online within 24 hours. They're just letting us know that they see that we are armed to the teeth with nuclear weapons, the ability to completely destroy civilization and all living things on this planet, and they don't want us to do that. They're saying, get rid of these nuclear weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
I agree.
That's a
tall
totally.
order. Yeah. I think that this is a very tall order because our race, we are all so focused on I don't know, things that we shouldn't be, it appears. But let's take a short break, and then we're going to come right back because we got questions in the chat room, and I know, Becky, you have lots of other comments to make. So everybody stay tuned, and we will be right back. We are speaking with a wonderful guest that we have here tonight, Robert Salas, who is the author of a terrific book, Unidentified, the UFO Phenomenon, How World Governments Have Conspired to Conceal Humanity's Biggest Secret. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for a new experience of freedom and powerful connection? Would you like a positive, effortless change in your life? Then come to CosmicFusion.com, where we offer the most advanced energy clearing and expansion techniques in the world, with a quantum vortex energy to activate your divine blueprint and life's purpose. When your soul leads the way with cosmic fusion and quantum vortex energy, you can break clear of past difficulties and blocks with the power of the Source. With Cosmic Fusion, the Source energy does the work for you. It's easy and effortless. Listen to our free meditation right from our Cosmic Fusion website, the Cosmic Code Meditation. Sign up for one of our interactive webinars today. Come to Cosmic Fusion, www.KOSMICfusion.com, to experience an effortless awakening and transformation. Are you ready for an upgrade? Are you ready for a new experience of living in the fifth dimensional magic and powerful connection? Then visit CosmicFusion.com today. CosmicFusion.com.
Bonjour, this is Veronique Raskin, founder of the Organic Wine Company. As one of the pioneers of the organic wine movement, since 1980, I have brought you the very best and most authentic organic wines directly to your table. I work with small family estates who grow certified organic grapes and produce exceptional wines. You can purchase our wines individually from our website at theorganicwinecompany.com or join one of our wine clubs. Our organic wines are perfect for you and for your family as gifts for friends and relatives, and they are simply spectacular for the holidays. Visit us at theorganicwinecompany.com to enjoy the very best organic wines conveniently delivered to your door. I am Veronique Raskin, passionate about my mission. I offer to you vegan, organic, and biodynamic wines, wines made by people of the heart, wines with a heart. Au revoir. Call us at 1-888-ECO-WINE.
Your property tax bill. Have you seen it lately? It's frightening. Your property taxes are going up while your home value is going down. It's time to fight back and win. For the real truth about the property tax system, get attorney Pat Quintilian's book, Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Attorney Quintilian answers all your questions and gives you the facts you need to fight a property tax bill that is spiraling out of control. You'll also read about what happens to property owners who don't check their property records, only to find out too late they're taxed on square footage, fixtures, and even buildings that they don't own. Is this happening to you? Learn your rights. Buy attorney Pat Quintilian's book today. Are You Getting Screwed on Your Property Taxes? How to Find Out and How to Fix It. Available on Amazon.com.
Welcome back, everyone. We are here with my co-host, Becky Andreasson. Welcome back again, Becky.
Thank you. Hi, everyone.
We are also here with a terrific guest, Robert Salas, who is the author of a great new book called Unidentified, the UFO Phenomenon. So, oh my goodness, Robert, we have so much to talk about. This subject, as you know, is something that Becky and I feel very strongly about, as you do. And another thing in your book that I found very enlightening was when you talked about all of the different intelligence communities and organizations. I had no idea there were this many. Would you say 17 organizations?
Yes, this information comes from a good reference. I believe his name is Rickelson, who wrote a book about the U.S. intelligence agencies. There are 17 known intelligence agencies, but of course, all the services, for example, the Air Force, of course, has their own intelligence agency, the Air Force Office of Special Investigation. The Navy has their intelligence group, and on and on and on. And just about every agency has the ability to classify documents. So we've got what I call a country of secrets. There's just so many secrets and secretive activities that are going on. And this affects the science. I go into the idea that some of the cutting-edge science, of course, becomes classified because of possible military applications. So, in the name of national security, a lot of this classification takes place, including some cutting-edge science. And so I do document that.
Yeah, I see our... Yeah, I see our some of them up there at the top protecting this for our nation and for our protection. And there is some things that need protecting and need secrecy, but it seems like it has piled up so much. I mean, how is it so hard for them to say, okay, yes, aliens are here, yes, we've been working with them, yes, they're doing these good things and they're doing this and that for us, and yes, some things have to be secret because we don't want the bad guys getting it and doing damage to our planet or us. I understand that, but I mean, to be so locked up, keyed up so they can't tell us anything, that's just ridiculous.
That's right. One example of this is I think back in the 80s, some scientists were asked to look into some of the satellite data that was coming in about, let's say, deforestation and other activities that were affecting greenhouse gases, things like that. Things that we should have known about.
Right.
But this was classified because the information was coming from intelligence satellites. satellites that are controlled by intelligence agencies, and they could not disclose this information. Even though it had very much application to the public interest and public welfare.
Right.
And this is just one example of many. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, so it is very important, Robert, I think, even though our system is failing us miserably, to start putting some pressure or continued pressure on our legislators to start revealing some of these things. So it doesn't hurt everybody who's listening tonight who believes that this issue should be more out in the open, is, write to your congressman, write to your legislators, and tell them this is unacceptable to have this level of secrecy around a phenomenon we all know exists, we all know is real, and we want the truth. Because, bottom line here, I don't think they're doing this to protect the people. This secrecy. It's not for our own good. Let's face it. That's this thought about we would all run screaming into the night if it was revealed that there were extraterrestrials. I don't buy that for a minute. I think they've got their own agenda going, and this is not about protecting us. It's about protecting themselves.
But it should be about protecting humanity. It should be. Right,
but they've kind of missed that boat.
Yeah.
So they're on a different
Which nation
boat.
do you think is the strongest in holding all this?
I'm sorry? Say again?
Which nation do you think is the strongest in holding all this power or secrecy?
Yeah, I do think the United States is in the lead in this secret cabal. And that is because we probably, we recovered a craft at Roswell, no question about that, or parts of a craft, and we've probably been studying this technology since then, at least. And I know we have, or when I say we, this Air Force intelligence agencies have asked other countries for information about incidents that have occurred in their countries. And again, I get this from sources who I've talked to in militaries in foreign countries have told me this, where they have had to turn over information about UFO incidents to U.S. military people. So I think the U.S. is in kind of a lead position on this.
Wow. That's something. How about your experience going through the window there that was bolted in there? How did you feel?
Okay,
let me know. How'd you feel?
Let me just briefly go over that. In 1985, I was living with my wife and two small children in a beach community here in California. And one night I woke up to a strange blue light coming from our living room. And I told my wife that I wake up my wife and tell her I'm going to go investigate because I thought somebody might be in the house. So I start to get out of bed, and all of a sudden I'm paralyzed, can't move. And one of the things that convinces me that this was not a dream is because I recall the extreme effort I went to try to get my mobility back. I was just fighting with every ounce of energy I had to try to get my mobility back, and I even yelled at my wife to help me, and at this time, now she was unconscious. Even after, she had awakened and saw this blue light. And the other thing is she has since confirmed that she saw the blue light.
Wow.
So next thing I recall is seeing a hooded being, and to this day I can't say what the facial features were. But I do remember a hooded being in the doorway, and then I was aware that there were others in the room, and these others, seemed smaller in stature to me, because the next thing that happened is I floated off the bed and was floating towards a window that we had in the bedroom. And I was thinking, well, they wouldn't know how to unlatch this window because I'd latched the window the night before.
They can float you, but they don't know how to unlatch a window, huh?
Right. I don't know how I came to that conclusion. Other than that, they seemed to me like children, I guess because of their stature. They were small. But, yeah, I went right through that window. It was closed. Yeah. It was locked, and I went right through the window. Now, I know how fantastic this sounds, how ridiculous it sounds.
Oh, no.
I'm an engineer. I believe me, I'm a left-brain guy, but this is what I recall. And what I'm telling you now is the result of about 4 hypnotherapy sessions I've had with some pretty well-known hypnotherapists. But next I'm on a table on board the craft, and they're showing me a needle, and it's a good 12 inches long at least.
Oh, God. Boy.
But they place it. Yeah, they place it right in front of my eyes. So I can. They actually hold it right in front of my eyes and communicate to me that they're going to insert it in my groin area, but that it's not going to hurt. Now, as they start to insert it, it hurt like heck.
Yeah.
Can I use that word?
Yeah.
Heck?
You can use whatever word you want.
Ouch.
And I remember the pain. And so that's the third thing that convinces me this was not a dream. I remember the extreme nature of that pain. And as soon as I complained about the pain went away instantly. And after that procedure, whatever that was, I suspect, they took semen from me. But after that, I was led through, I think I had a minor checkup with my back. I remember one of them poking their fingers along my spine, and then I was led through a curved tunnel by 2 beings on either side of me. Again, I was floating, not walking, and then back into my bed. And the next day, of course, I didn't remember a thing. My wife didn't remember a thing. And I had never really spoken about this either to her or anybody else until about 7 years ago when I finally asked my wife if she had remembered seeing a blue light one evening, and she said yes. She saw that blue light, so she confirmed to me that this was not a dream. This really happened. And that's when I started getting these therapy sessions.
Now, did your wife also undergo hypnotherapy?
No, she has not. But she also has had at least one or more experiences.
Have you heard of any hybrids through you or your wife?
No, not specifically that, we have sired any hybrids.
Well,
but again, we have not. It could be.
Well,
yeah.
You bring up an interesting thought too around the power that they have to paralyze you, and we've heard this a lot with abductees that you cannot fight against this energy stream that they have you caught up in. But I have to say, Becky's the only person I've ever met who they couldn't keep in suspended animation. She kept popping out.
Broke out. Yep, I
broke out. Now, I don't know anybody else who broke out. Just you, Becky.
Yeah, I want to know what's going on.
Yeah, so she would just pop out of suspended animation, and they'd have to come running over and try to figure out what to do with her. I think that's one of the funniest experiences and stories that I've heard about abductions, and that they just couldn't control you. You were just getting into all kinds of mischief, Becky.
That's right. Well, I think that's because when I was little, I was in the school, and there's a form of vibration that eventually stays with you in your body. because I've even had my spiritual body tilt forward, and people have heard me talk, double talk, like I was speaking the same word twice at the same time, and I realized it was my spirit that was tipped forward. I wasn't all the way back in my body. And this you receive for being on the ships time and time and time and time after time. And I think that's the ability that gave me, the knowledge or whatever to automatically pop out. I think that's what it was, because I was playing light games in the air with them and things like that with Jessup. So I think that's truly what it was.
Yeah, I think a lot of people who have been taken or have had these experiences seem to come back with some enhanced abilities of some sort.
Now, did you have that experience also, Robert, when you came back? Did you have any increased intuition or anything like that?
Well, I think so, but I think mainly what happened with me is I was, let's say, given this mission to try to convince humanity to abolish nuclear weapons. That's one of the main driving forces for me, besides the secrecy of government. I think my wife, like I said, she's had experiences, and I mentioned before that she's a hands-on healer. She's an energy healer, and I think that probably is a result of her experiences.
Yes,
no
is.
Kidding. Oh, how interesting.
Yeah.
It enhances your gifts, your abilities.
Right. So there you go. There's one aspect where we could maybe point to where they have some good intentions with regard to us. But these may not be the only intentions, of course. They may have other objectives that we just don't fully understand.
Right. I keep thinking about that cookbook on the Twilight Zone. Remember that one? How to Serve Man. Everybody's like, oh, good, they're going to be our servants. They didn't realize it was a cookbook. So, yeah, I think there's a lot of questions here before we all jump on the spaceships together. Hey, and here's another question for you, Robert, right from the chat room. Somebody wants to know if you think the ETs are going to disclose themselves to everyone on the planet, whether the cabal wants them to or not.
Well, I think they have been disclosing themselves for thousands of years. The question is, do you believe that they're there? But yeah, they're disclosing themselves. By full disclosure, you probably mean landing and coming out and shaking people's hands or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think something like that will happen. What I think is happening, and the reason they're not doing something like that, is because they want to see us evolve. They want to see us develop to the point where we're not so warlike. We have gotten rid of our nuclear weapons. We've gotten control of that. We've learned how to cooperate with each other, work together on a myriad of serious problems that are facing civilization. And I'm sure you can think of some like that.
Oh, yes, unfortunately. Now, another question, somebody wanted you to talk about the zero-sum game in your book.
Oh, yeah.
What is that? Can you talk to people about this? Is fascinating. This is a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, a zero-sum game is a game that's played where there's only a set amount of let's say, reward to win. So what the reason I brought that up in my book is because we're in a game with the cabal. The people that are involved in the UFO disclosure community, people like yourselves and myself, are fighting a cabal that's well organized, probably staffed by professional intelligence people who know how to play this game very well, and are involved with a disinformation program to disinform the public, to ridicule the subject, to control witnesses, And we, on the other side, are trying to tell our stories, get more witnesses to come forward, get disclosure. And so it's a game. It's basically a game that's being played back and forth. And the only reward in winning this game is disclosure or non-disclosure. So that's why it's a zero-sum game. We're still in the game, but sometimes we're winning and sometimes we're losing this battle.
And it does feel like a battle, and for all the people that have had these experiences, it's particularly painful when the government or whoever is doing this, goes so far out of their way to try to make abductees into fools. I mean, it's, I think, one of the most heinous crimes that our government has participated in. These are people who honestly come forward.
And this is the reason I came forward with my story and published it in this book, my abduction experience, because I want the public to know that this is very much a real part of the UFO phenomenon, and it's going on. I think John Mack, the late John Mack, the late Bud Hawkins, have estimated that we're talking about in the millions of people that have been taken in this way over the years. So it's something the public needs to be aware of. It's going on, and it's just another reason why we, the public, need to get involved in this conversation and decision-making on what to do about this.
Well, yeah, and John Mack was a very highly regarded psychiatrist from Harvard, and I don't think that Harvard expected him to come out with the end result that he did, saying that these abductees are telling the truth. This is absolutely going on. I think they were horrified, and because they tried to get him basically kicked out as a professor there who was tenured, and it's just, again, here's another example of someone who is highly regarded in their field, but they come out and they try to tell the truth about this, and they're not treated very nicely, just put it mildly. So it doesn't encourage other people to come out either, because they'll go, well, look what happened to Dr. Mack, or, look what happened to this person. It's not pleasant.
And that's what I'm talking about. With the cabal is using this ridicule factor and to discourage witnesses to come forward. They have other means of discouraging witnesses. For example, in the Air Force, they've got what's called a personnel reliability program, where if you were in the Air Force and you say something about seeing a UFO or something like that, it'll go on your record and it'll affect your career. So they do pressure people and witnesses, like you say, not to talk.
Well, it takes a tremendous amount of courage to come out and speak. I'm sorry, Becky, go ahead.
That's right. There's got to be some good guys, though, in all these places, in the Air Force, and even maybe secretly in the cabal, because, I mean, H double hockey sticks hasn't let loose yet. So there's got to be someone holding strings that are good people, good humans, good ones that are trying to balance things in each of these places, Air Force, the Army, all of them, Navy, all of them, even the cabal, I feel that they're set in places to keep balance also. Do you agree? I'm sure there are good people in the cabal that are maybe working to help us in some way, but they're probably very much under control, and again, they're using what's called compartmentalization of information. They only know a little piece of the secret. They keep separate.
That's how this works, right?
Yeah, I was surprised to see that in your book here, Robert, when you were talking about the fact that other missile sites had the same problem but that information was withheld, so that as investigations were going on, it's almost like the right hand didn't know what the left hand was doing here.
Oh, yeah. I speak about, excuse me, the cover-up involved in my case, where this Lieutenant Colonel Chase, who was base operations officer at Malmstrom Air Force Base, and the base UFO officer, was surprised that the Condon investigator came to him and said, well, we heard that there was UFOs involved in these missile shutdowns. And, of course, he lied to him and said, no, there was no UFO involvement. The Condon investigator, I think, knew very well that he was not supposed to pursue this and just went away. So it was never part of the Condon Committee final report. But the glaring thing that happened, the clear cover-up was, and I've got this in writing, there was correspondence between this Colonel Chase and the Project Blue Book office at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. And they asked him directly, in writing, whether or not UFOs were involved in the missile shutdowns. And he told them no. He lied directly to them, and he knew full well that there was UFO involvement because, like I said, this happened over the span of 8 days. We lost 20 nuclear missiles, 2 separate incidents at Malmstrom, and I've got the evidence in the form of audio testimony from the other crew members, and of course my own commander supporting this claim that I've made A Faded Giant, the first book that I wrote. And if people want to hear that audio, they can go to my website, spiralgalaxy.org. I've got that on audio tape. They can listen to it themselves.
Wow, great. So that's spiralgalaxy.org. That is Robert Salas' website, if you'd like to hear that audio tape. Excellent.
Right.
Well, we're coming to the end of our show, unfortunately, because I know, Becky, you're having a blast, and so am I.
I am. I'm enjoying talking to him.
This is
wonderful.
Great. Yes, it's been a wonderful show. But, Robert, I got one more question for you. I have one more question, and then you can make your other statement as well. But I got to know, I know Becky wants to know too, what is the wildest story that you've heard that you think is probably true but is so wild? Can you think of one?
So wild. Let's see. Well, I can tell you, I talked about underground bases.
Yes.
And someone that I know very well had a business which was kind of a cleansing operation of some sort. Anyway, he was contacted by some unknown source. They wanted to contract him to come out and clean some equipment. And so he drove. He was given orders to directions to drive out to the desert, and he drove out in the middle of the desert. Finally, he was stopped by a sentry, a military sentry. He stopped his truck. He had a big tank truck of some sort, and got out, talked to the sentry. The sentry brought him into a little guard shack. And the next thing he knows, his truck was gone. It disappeared. This is out in the middle of the desert, and the only conclusion he came to was that there was an elevator that took his truck down underground, and his equipment was used to clean whatever they had to clean, and so he waited there for it, and later the truck came back up through the desert floor. Floor, he said. This was pretty incredible, but it's somebody I know very, very well. and I trust him implicitly. So I believe his story.
Wow.
Pretty fantastic.
That is great. And everybody, you heard it here first on Supernatural Girls Radio. So
yeah, I do want to mention that I have read The Andreasson Affair, and it's a fantastic book. Betty and Ray Fowler have done a great job, so I would highly recommend that book.
Oh,
thank you.
Thanks. Thank you so much, Robert. And, of course, we recommend your book also, which is called Unidentified, the UFO Phenomenon, How World Governments Have Conspired to Conceal Humanity's Biggest Secret. Robert, thank you so much for coming on the show. You've written a terrific book, and I hope everybody in our audience goes and buys their own copy. We will also be giving a copy away of this great book, but you've got to be signed up on Supernatural Girls subscriber list and follow us on Twitter and on Facebook, and then you are entered into the contest. So make sure you do all those things to be a part of our show and to also get a chance to win this great book. So, Robert, thank you again for just a wonderfully exciting show.
Thank you, Patricia, and thank you, Betty, for everything you've done. Thank you. And good luck. We will send you our healing energy, both my wife and I, believe me.
Thank you. I love that. Thank you so much, and I will receive it.
You bet.
Thank you, Robert, and keep us posted on everything else you're doing. It's so exciting. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Well, Becky, what a great evening, huh?
Yes. It was so much fun. I love being on and talking with you all. It's so enjoyable.
Well, we've all missed you. You know that, and we've kept the faith, and here you are. Back again, and I know you're going to be sharing the space with Helene and doing the shows that you love to do, and Helene doing the shows that she loves to do. So as you feel up to it, I know that you'll be back and entertaining our audience once again. But this has been just wonderful. Now, I can tell you that after hearing all this from Robert, I will not sleep at all tonight.
I know.
Well worth it.
Oh, my
well worth
gracious.
it.
Oh my goodness. I'm telling you, that is really something. He has some awesome information in there, and I mean things you would never even realize. It's just amazing.
I know. He's written another great book, and people really should get it. And as Bob said, people need to wake up. They need to get that this is what's going on. We're being taken for quite a ride here, and they're not telling us the truth despite all kinds of empty promises. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so we know what's going on, right, Becky?
We sure do. That's for sure. And we need to let everyone else know. It's real. It's for real, folks.
It is. And if you want to hear more of the truth, then just keep listening to Supernatural Girls. We will be back next week with another great show. Next week we have Lon Duquette, who is going to be telling stories all night. Stories of horror and the occult. It is Spooky October, so we will continue on with that next week. So,
oh, wow. I'll be listening.
It's going to be fun. So anyways, Becky, I love you so much, and I'm so glad you're feeling better and you've received all these wonderful prayers of healing. Keep it up. It's just great. Keep getting better and better.
Yes, thank you, everyone, and I love you, and good night. This was great, Patricia.
Well, this has been great for me, Becky. Good night, and love to all of our audience members, and just keep listening. Our shows are always exciting, and they will always inform you some things that are just undercover. You're going to find it out here first. So good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Tune in next week for another radio adventure with